when I do the inquiry, I can go into the silence, and there are practical things from the mind that take me out of the silence, and maybe
it need not take you out of the silence. It need not take you out of the silence. You see, suppose there is a lovely lavender bush, beautiful fragrance of lavender, you see, and then a lot of monkeys run by with bananas next to it. Would the fragrance go, I just got carried away by all those bananas, and it just became banana flavored, and it was very difficult to just keep my lavender essence. Because it is a popular excuse. I say excuse rather than, well, misconception, you can say. Because we've heard it so many times. I know what you mean. But from the standpoint of the truth, it's not true. From the standpoint of the person, it is true. So I must concede a little bit. From the standpoint of the person who feels, I go into the silence, but you did not stay as the silence. You stay as a tourist visiting the silence. So if you go like that, if you're a tourist, you're going to have two-way ticket. You're going to go back out. Something's going to bring you out. The past, the memories of, oh, I've got this thing to do and that thing. Okay, I can come back to silence later. You see? Because the person seems to have a choice. I go there, I find this thing, but I can't stay because something from some practical things that must be done, which means that the truth is only the truth so long as there's nothing practically to be done. It's so true, so like, with God and everything. But, oops, my God, the bill has to be paid, excuse me, I've got to go. It cannot be true. And it would be good if you can drop this, if you see it clearly, that this excuse or this reason is not true. It is a habit to think that these things happen. But I must address something else before I can say to you, yes, you're able to drop it. And that is when you do the inquiry and you experience entering into the silence, you see, as what are you entering silence? If it is as your person, sort of entered into a state, and the state becomes your experience. I experience that state, and every experience has a beginning and an end. But when you are in the silence itself, are you in the silence as like we're all these beings together sitting in the mandir? So there's two things. There is the space of the mandir and the people who are visiting now. And then soon they will have to leave to go to whatever, to go to sleep or to go to dinner or to go to somewhere. So they are not one with the space. The space cannot leave. So who did you come in as? And did you merge in that silence, or you simply experience it as a taste, you see?
The conclusion from the inquiry is that I cannot be anything else, and experience.
Did you could confirm that in that moment, that somehow something entered the silence, or now there's a silence. And it's not like, oh yes, oh it's very nice and silent in here. And you walk about in the silence and, oh it's very nice. And then the alarm clock goes off, oh I've got to leave silence for now. How was it? Explain to us.
I think I have both. Sometimes when I do the inquiry, I drop what is changeful. Everything that belongs to the person. And the only thing remaining is nothing. In fact, is just silence. So
Yeah. Can you go to the silence now? Can you be in the silence now? Or do you have to do inquiry to go to the silence, to be in the silence? Where was silence until you discovered it? When you discovered it, you didn't make it. So where was it until you discovered it?
can be the silence, the absence of noise.
Absence of noise. No, that's not the silence I'm talking about. As we said when you came here, you agreed, I'm going to not disturb others with making noises and ask them questions. We're going to be quiet. So that's a kind of physical quiet. I'm not going to talk. I don't think anybody said I'm not going to think. I'm not going to talk. It's okay, good enough. You see? But sometimes if you're in a lot of thinking even, if you were in a waiting room to go to see the dentist or someone, and there's only one other person in the room, and not speaking, you may still feel disturbed by the presence of this one if they have a lot of inner going on without even them speaking. You may be disturbed by their presence, and yet even if you're wearing dark glasses and they're wearing dark glasses and so on, still something energetically, if you're sensitive to that, you may perceive, I think I need to go outside for a bit of fresh air. Go outside. And if someone could be inside, same waiting room, and being with a child and being very playful and so on, you may feel a deep silence also. Because although there might be sound on the surface, internally there's a stillness in there. So it's not merely the physical sound that somehow breaks silence, you see.
It's true. Sometimes I feel myself like the ocean, and I see the waves in the surface, so the thoughts, but then I don't engage with those thoughts, and I feel still I am in silence, or I am the ocean, the ocean of silence.
And even if you don't use words or concepts like ocean or anything like this, no? Even without using any sort of image about it, or any concepts about it, just it by itself, that space by itself. Then do you feel like you are inside it? I'm experiencing this, it's so nice, and so on. And then you may realize that it's just your mind saying all these things. Oh, it's so nice to be here, and I wish I could stay like this. When in fact you are this. The mind says, yeah, I wish I could be like this all the time. And somehow this belief is believed. This thought is believed. And then you say, yes, maybe I should do some more pranayama. Yeah. And then you start to do something unnecessarily to be what you are already.
Is it a matter of choice? Because I feel sometimes it's like what we are seeing now, it's a choice. So either I go with the mind and go out of the silence somehow, or I really
only
choose
if
for
it
what
is moment.
I am.
Only if these things are happening in the space of minutes and so on, you can say, yeah, it's a place of choice. But if you're sitting with this and really giving some space and time just to be, this is what is being offered here while you're in Sahaja also. There's not a hurry. It's not like, okay, the next session is this and the next thing is... No, you have space to sit. And if it is like this, then you may feel more that it's not really a choice even. There's no choice to be made. Even that itself is another condition. It is already what it is. There is something which is already what it is. It doesn't have to make a choice to be what it is. It's already what it is. This what it isness, I feel, is the one thing that seems to be missing from us consciously, because we're always in the move, always on the move. The mind is always engaged in something, so there's a kind of restlessness. So while you're having breakfast, you're thinking, what's for lunch? While you're having lunch, what's for dinner later? Huh? You see, it's just the mind, the habit. And that these habits are not really checked, they're not looked at. When something, as you begin to look and observe, there's a kind of slowing down happens, you see, very naturally. You see. And this grabbing at things is observed to be just okay, there is something, but then you become more aware that from the place of awareness, there's a stillness there. The grabbing is something else. It's just an action, but you're not that action. You see, when you have time to look and slow, you see these things, they show themselves much more clearly. But if you are looking in a hurry to get something, then you may think, yes, but I need to choose to do. You see, it's like you don't give enough time. There are different modes, different ways in which the inquiry develops in you, and sometimes very, very naturally, very spontaneously, but there must somehow be a sense that you'll give enough time, and you always give enough time for the things that you love, that which you want to do. You'll find time for it. You see. The mind puts you on the clock. You need to get on, hurry up, come. And so there's some agitation may come for you. But all these things you're going to see very soon, that they are not intrinsic to you, they're not a part of who you are. Just the habits that come from the wrong identity and the way in which the idea you have of who you are is suffering from its own projections. Don't give it to your mind. Just it will settle down by itself, you see. The inquiry is like a mirror especially for you. Something that you're just checking in, and it always will reflect the truth. You're just here. The movements you see, it is not you. Nothing wrong with them, they're movements, but to define yourself in terms of those movements is always to restrict and to limit the limitless.
I think maybe it is true. I am always running after the clock, and maybe for inquiry as well, that I'm dropping it early, before it's really finished with the person.
Yes. We're in a little bit of a strange place. Something has to be seen about that. And don't plant yourself or fix yourself in anything at all. You said yourself that sometimes you can just drop things when you're in a certain state. If you don't hold on to anything right now, any shape, or even the intention to be free for a moment, just be totally zero. Drop everything, including the ideas you have about yourself for a moment. It is quite safe, it's not such a huge risk you're taking. Just leave everything. And why am I asking you to do that? So that you can see that if you are not mixed with anything, are you in a state of suffering? You can try. Don't associate, don't hold on to anything. Oh, I need this, or I couldn't do without that. Just for a moment. Leave all these things for a moment. The desire to do something, or to get somewhere, or what the next experience will be, or just drop them. Don't hold any ideas about yourself for a moment. We can do this. And what remains?
Quietness.
Quietness is there, yes. Unbearable quietness?
No.
No. Is there anybody there being quiet?
No.
Double check and see. Is there anybody there, sort of like just...
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Let's spend a moment or two just in this nothingness. Is it an irresponsible thing to do? To just be in nothing? No. I have to say that because sometimes some little thing in the mind said, it's a waste of time, what's the point? It's to be nothing, You're here for a great purpose. And so nothing. Be very conscious in this nothing. Is the nothingness waiting for the next experience? Does it want experience?
No.
No. Well, let's be with it for a moment then. If you don't touch anything, including even the feeling I am, don't touch anything at all. So that you don't even know who I'm speaking to. Just the words are heard. And if there's a response takes place. And awareness of the response taking place also happens. But you don't know anything. Something is here, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. In this space of emptiness or nothingness, anything can show up, any thought can come, but they are just like a cloud passing in this infinite sky. Can they alter the nothingness, the emptiness? Can they do something to it?
No.
No. For a moment, don't be anything at all. It's okay. You don't have to be anything. So there's nothing to be, nobody to impress. There's not the next step to be taken, the last one to correct. Just drop all of that for a moment. Be consciously here. So not a glimpse. This is too long for a glimpse. Don't touch mind. Are you in a coma or a trance?
No.
No. So if I threw you an apple or something, you wouldn't just let it hit your head. You'd probably be able just to catch it somehow. So something is functioning okay. You are not asked to suppress your senses or to control them. They will just behave how they do. Is it unbearable for anybody here? I really would like to know. Does anybody find unbearable, like, God, I wish this would end? to go back to my thinking or something. Which, of course, is thinking already. Are there any laws here? Any rules?
Nothing.
Nothing. I wonder how long this would continue until it becomes unbearable. And for whom? I want to tell you that this is a natural state. This is your natural self. But your mind won't want to accept that. What time is it in this space? What season?
No time. Doesn't matter.
Yes. So time is not passing. Beloved Master MOOJI, sometimes my mind wants to trick me, giving raised thoughts that tell me that enlightenment is something unreachable for the existence of this individuality, of this body-mind. Since I am a person who has very common habits, clichés, social habits. However, the times I had the opportunity to be with you, I felt a great stillness, immeasurable joy and happiness. Especially when I spoke to you at Monte Sahaja in the end of 2013 and in the days of Zimar retreat last year. On the penultimate day of the retreat, in the fire ceremony, I went into a state of ecstasy, and a phrase drummed into my head. Nothing ever happened. But unfortunately, that feeling decreased with my day-by-day routine. This has been hidden by the veil of automatism, the identification with the objects and the judgments of the facts. Theoretically and intellectually, I understand and feel driven by you and all that the great masters have told me, like Papaji, Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, Eckhart Tolle, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Adyashanti, Alan Watts, and Osho. And since I have dipped into your wisdom, this life has been more mild, relaxed, and blessed. I feel a strong attraction to the truth 24 hours a day. Your image, MOOJI, and words are in my thoughts almost all the time. Why I can't get this quantum leap? Because it has to be, and enough. If you tell me that yes, I accept, or please help me to give one last burst of realization, I'm tired of these ups and downs of ego. With all my veneration, I love you. A hug, Angelo. Very good. You want me to should we talk in English?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. I'm not totally comfortable to answer the questions in English, but I can try.
We have some. No? Come on, show yourself Portuguese. Yes. We have Portuguese, and we have Brazilian Portuguese. So
It's the same for me.
it's the same for you. Okay.
Can be he,
Okay.
she.
Yes. You can submit. On the penultimate day of the retreat, in the fire ceremony, I went into a state of ecstasy, and a phrase drummed into my head, nothing ever happens. But unfortunately, that feeling decreased with my day-to-day routine of life going about. it started to thin away. This has been hidden by the veil of automatism. Does that mean just your automatic life living and so on? The identification with the objects and judgments. So you say theoretically and intellectually I understand and feel driven by you and all the great masters like Papaji, Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, Eckhart Tolle, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Adyashanti, Alan Watson Osho. And since I have dipped into your wisdom, this life has been more mild, relaxed, and blessed. I feel a strong attraction to the truth 24 hours a day. So this attraction means two at least. Yeah? The thing you are attracted to and you who are the one who is attracted to it. I feel a strong attraction to the truth 24 hours a day. No, you must get some sleep, no?
I'm just breathing.
Just breathing. But your attention is on it all the time, on the truth. Yeah. Whenever you're conscious, your attention is always searching for truth.
Yes.
Yes. Then your attention must also, you must also be aware that something is searching for the truth, isn't it? Can I say, you need translation now?
I understand.
Yes, something you are aware that there is a strong search to find the truth. Something is aware, there's a strong, trying. So you can talk about it. Yes, I'm always searching for the truth. Yeah. So behind this searching for the truth, there is just awareness, isn't it? In which the searching for the truth takes up a lot of time. From the awareness you know that there's a strong search for the truth. But the search for the truth is watching the search for the truth. Because what you are searching for is watching your search going on. Even sometimes meditating, and the goal and the object of meditation is being watched. You're trying to meditate, to reach the one who is watching the meditation going on. Could it be something like that? I meditate, I want to be just constantly in the place just where I'm just constant. But from the constant, the momentary is making all the effort, and it's watching this momentary making all the effort to reach the constant, which is the constant is watching. Does it make your head go, or are you catching something?
A questão é justamente essa.
This is the question.
Yes.
Eu não pratico nenhum hábito formal de sadhana.
I don't practice any formal sadhana.
Tipo yoga ou...
Okay, this is fine, but you say your image, MOOJI, and words are in my thoughts almost all the time. And that becomes a kind of sadhana. That becomes almost like the power of mantra also. Because what you love, it says what you love, you become. Isn't it? they say, what you love, you become. Sometimes you see, people who are even just, they meet not long ago, they're on the first few dates, no? And they're sitting at the table. I saw something like that. And they mimic each other. When one goes, oh, hello, and the other one goes, oh, yes, I'm talking. They're not actually trying to do it. The love makes them do it. They're reflecting each other even, you see. What you love, you're becoming, you see. So the more you love this thing, the more somehow you're being absorbed in it and absorbed by it also. Why can't I get this quantum leap? So when you're running up to take the quantum leap, where you're trying to get to is already where you are, no? No, I say this thing because here is where now I will speak about the beautiful statement that St. Francis of Assisi made. And I've said it so often. He said, what you are searching for, what you are looking for, is already the place you are looking from. He said this. What you are searching for is already the place where the search started from. You understand?
Sim. É por isso que existe uma contradição na minha forma de entender.
This is why there is a contradiction in my form of understanding.
Porque você diz que é uma coisa muito simples.
Because you say that it's something very simple.
Yes.
Mas por ser já o que eu já sou, na verdade parece ser muito difícil.
But to be what I already am seems to me very difficult.
Yeah, it's impossible. To be what you already are as an action you will take is impossible because you are already there. You see, I shared one time that when I was a young boy, and someone showed me the picture. You must have heard me talk about it. Somebody came and showed a picture to me, small picture, black and white picture, and it looked really simple. And he asked me, "What you see in the picture?" I looked at the picture, and to me, what I saw is like a vase, something like this, but more like this, shape like this, a white vase on the black background. Very simple, no shading, no color. Black and white, simple. You think very simple, no? What you see, I said, what is this? It's just a vase in the background is black. What is the big deal? He said, really look. I said, what to look? It's very obvious. I could see with one eye, Yeah? It's a white vase on a black background. What are you doing? He said, really look. And so after a while, he was giving up. He says, look, okay. Look at the black part. So look at the black part. I said, what is it? Is what you see? I said, white vase on black background. And then he had to help me. I wasn't smart enough, wasn't getting it or something. He said, can you see the two faces facing each other? I said, get out of here. What are you talking? There's not two faces facing each other. He said, look, concentrate on the black. The faces are in the black. Suddenly I could see two faces looking identical. This is fantastic. Where did you get this? This is fantastic. He said, where's the vase? I'm looking. Oh, where's the vase? I couldn't see the vase. You understand what is happening? I couldn't see the vase. My eyes would not. It's actually just to the two faces. And we tried, and then after a little while, maybe 5 minutes, I could switch and see both. You see? Why am I using this example? Because it's not an exact example, but it's a little bit like why I say to you, it's simple. So simple is not the right word. You're used to looking from a certain perspective. But there's another perspective of looking But because you are used to looking from that one perspective, you are not seeing that something is really obvious, but it's only obvious when it's obvious. You see? And this is a way. So you feel that when I also say, Rumi is saying, knocking at the door opens. I've been knocking from inside, he say. He was always inside, but he believed he's outside. You are the self, believing you are the person. You're knocking at the door for understanding. Please help me to become or to reach or to find my true self. Then the door opens, mean what? Understanding came, the light came. And then you realize, oh, I've always been on the inside, but you didn't know. You are the self, dreaming you are the person. But because we have been so educated and so conditioned to look from the perspective of a personal identity, the idea that, or it's not an idea, we're saying now the proof that you are the self feels like it's some tremendous philosophical or spiritual gymnastics to find. And that's what I'm trying to point out. And because of that, we are spending a lot of exercise beating our bodies and being naked and being stung by wasps and drinking lots of stuff and having, full-time diarrhea about different things to try and reach the self. Even some people are beating the head. I am the self, I am the self. I am the self. And they still say, but I still didn't reach after all this. Look how much blood I've lost. I still didn't reach. Because it cannot be reached like that. Because you're still holding on to the identity of the person and feeling a conviction that the person is real. And I'm looking that the person is an idea arising in the real. So something, it's not just it's simple, because you may be a university professor, you know many, many more things about these things than I do, but still you're not able to see it. So it's not about intelligence, your regular intelligence. It's something else. There's also the saying that the truth will not reveal itself in an arrogant mind.
Eu sinto como que essa personalidade
I feel like this personality
tivesse altos e baixos de espiritualidade.
had ups and downs of spirituality.
Yes.
Tem momentos que são mais devocionais.
There are moments where are more devotional.
Yes.
E momentos que são mais céticos.
And moments that are more ascetics.
Talvez,
Yes.
Don't believe.
It's very healthy.
talvez eu esteja hoje no momento mais cético da minha vida.
Maybe today I'm in one of the most skeptical moment of my life.
Skeptical.
Yeah.
Skeptical.
Mas
Yes.
É engraçado porque, em contradição, eu estou aqui no momento que minha vida está relativamente complicada, mas eu estou aqui no momento que eu estou.
And it's funny because it's a contradiction, because I'm here in this moment where my life is a little bit complicated, but I'm here where I am.
Yes. All that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, actually. It only matters because you think it matters. But from my way of looking, it really doesn't matter. It's not going to stop you from waking up. Only if you are holding on to the idea that, yes, but I am I'm only looking from this place. And you really believe it, then it will be very difficult to show you. But if you are really open, and you must be open to come here. You say that maybe you are in a skeptical period or moment of your life, no? Maybe. But skepticism is also something that you are aware of. You see? Don't define yourself by these modes and tendencies or so on. Too quickly we identify with them and then they feel like a fact. But they're all fiction. It's not yourself. How I can do now. Because you have to get it, you see. Something. Yeah.
Na primeira vez que eu estive com você, foi muito engraçado porque você praticamente derreteu a minha vida.
The first time I was with you, it was really funny because you basically melted my whole life.
Yeah.
E agora eu estou aqui e é como se eu tivesse à espera de um sinal.
And now I'm here, and it seems that it is if I was waiting for a sign.
Yes.
Não é possível que seja só isso.
I think that's not possible. That's just this.
That is just this.
Yeah, it's just this. It's not. He thinks that it's not possible that this is just this.
No, not the this that you're talking about. What to do now? See. Do you believe in any of these concepts that you have? Do you see them as concepts or as truths?
Eu falo, mas eu acho que eu não acredito.
I say it, but I think I don't believe it.
Yes. That's good. Then let us just leave them all aside for a minute then. This is one is good. If you are, take it, leave them. Leave everything that you think you know, for a moment. Just like I was saying before, let's just leave it to the side now. So don't pick up anything new, nothing. Just leave everything. Your ideas, what happened before, your memories of what happened before, and your self-assessment, like this is the kind of person I am, and so on. Can you just leave all of this now? Leave it. Just don't touch it. It's possible? It makes sense to you that I can speak like that? So supposing I am from some other place, I don't understand anything about anything. So I want to meet you, but nothing of your history or your story makes any sense to me. You understand? We need that.
Understand.
Okay. So I'm here to meet you. And in the most authentic, sincere way. But I don't know your story. I'm not interested in your story or what happened or even what you think about things and what you want from life or something like this. Say, no, it doesn't matter. There's something more than that. Not your belief or your disbeliefs, and not your concepts, not your identity. Nothing. What could I be interested in? I don't want any of your belief, your concepts, anything for a moment. Leave everything now, everything. Yes. So we are about 0. 2 zeros. Nothing is there. Okay. Nothing to remember, nothing to project. You're just here. Everything has been washed away. Everything has been washed away. But there is something that cannot be washed away. It cannot be thrown away. So only that remains now. Just be that. So you did not move to be here. You're already here. You did nothing at all. But you're not holding on to anything. Okay? So this. This is what you have been searching for. You have no history. Nothing belongs to you. You have no future. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to change. They are all from an old dream. You see? And you have not been asked to imagine this. No imagination needed. You must have got it, you see, because something is there. It's already showing all the signs. All the signs are there already that you have to get it. You have to, just this little thing to flick him off. Your mind is like this fly that keeps going around. You know this beyond any duality now. Yes. Because you have come back home to yourself. Simple like that. Yeah. This is when I used to say to people, get in your sleeping bag and zip yourself in. And just marinate in this joy of yourself. And don't come out until the bag throws you out. Because the mind's going to say, look, okay, come, let's go and do this now. Now you know something. But he's not your friend. Not yet. So you have shaken him off now. He cannot touch you now. Because you have discovered you are in the height of your being.
Obrigado.
Muito obrigado.
Por me sentir apaixonado novamente.
Thank you very much, because I'm feeling in love again.
Yes. Yes. But this is not a love you can fall out of. And it will not fall away. You must care for it. You must appreciate it. Because something want to take it from you. Then you must, all you do, you don't have to fight, just fall in love more.
Thank you, MOOJI.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy for being here. During this satsang and of course before this, a question is attracting my attention, and it costs a lot of energy. I take it quite some years, actually. I think all my adult life, and it's about my judgmental viewing towards myself and others.
Yes.
And the past few years, when I'm getting aware of a choice that in between can be made, it's getting more and more painful to look through my personal eyes, and I would definitely like to view from my heart without being troubled of my mind, and especially in intimate relationships, it's very painful because I feel the pain of others with my judgmental eyes, and therefore I feel the pain double, actually. And I hope you can give me some guidance in solving this instantly and definitely.
Yes, yes. Show me your personal eye. What is standing before me now? Is it the personal eye? Is it a personal eye? Because if I didn't say I did not see you before, I saw you earlier before, but now we're talking, and I met you now, and I see your form there, young person, healthy, and everything is what I see. And you introduce yourself now, and you're telling me something that I can't see. I can't see no personal eye. I don't see no person. I only see the self. So something is trying to convince me that I must relate to something called a person in this body. Something is trying to convince me, listen, when you see this body here, I am this person, and you relate to me as this person who has a difficulty with a lot of judgments and so on, and to come out of this judgment. Then I am going to have to change my position and then say, okay, it's not the self, it's a person. And now I must come down to see and then to treat you like a person, which I don't want to treat you like a person. You see?
Yes.
Yet at the same time, in that form, there's something conceived to be a person that is shaped out of habit and conditioning. And everyone, in everybody, including this body also, started off with some kind of conditioning. It's not something, how it came there in everyone. Just like I say, all the creatures that live in the ocean are wet. All the creatures, all the beings who entered manifestations have some kind of conditioning at first. And almost everybody would love to swap their conditioning for something else, especially the negative tendencies. And yet they were there somehow because actually, originally, and by original I don't mean way back. For me, originally does not mean way back in time. Originally mean in your purest place, which is right here also. In your purest place, none of these things exist. Originally doesn't mean, thousands of years ago, or 27 years ago, or 50 billion years ago. I don't know what originally means. Your truest true, it doesn't have any of this in it. And so when I meet any being, and then this is what I see. I didn't train myself to say, I'm going to see that this is self. It seems I am not able to not see that it is the self. When we look, it is the self. But when I listen, I'm hearing something that sounds like it's not the self. And then I say, okay, what has happened then?
Yeah.
And then looking from my own experience, remembering that also it was brought up here in me, the belief in to be this type of person or that type of person, and we grew up and seemed like our parents and society and our culture generally enforces and reinforces certain ideas about ourselves, and then we pick it up very easily. And it seemed like it is meant to be like that in the play of consciousness, that for a time everyone will experience some kind of limitations, some sort of negative associations and tendency. And is it possible to grow out of them, to go beyond them, or to change them? Totally.
That's my question.
Yes.
Because it seems at this moment that it has that power that it always turns me down.
Yes. But I want to ask a question before we start to work on this level, you see? If you have a strong conviction that you are a person, then we'll have to work from the perspective of the person. Please understand this. If you have, a strong loyalty inside that, look, I'm a person, and look, you have to help me as a person to get better. I'm on my way to my universal being, but right now I am my person. Please help my person to go to the next stage. Then I say, okay, fine, let's work like this. But that's not a fact for me. That's very much the fiction of you, not the fact of you. That is your play as a person. And to work with this play as a person can take time. We can only go to the next stage as much as you can bear, because as we go on, maybe you get very tired to make the next step, because it takes some effort and some memory and some practice. And so it will be generally a slow climb, but with grace something might move a bit faster. But you say you want instantly, because I'm listening to you. You say, how can I do something to change instantly? I say, I like that. Something must be open. The person cannot change instantly, but the person can disappear instantly. You follow? The person can only change step by step, and then sometimes slips back down to the bottom of the ladder and like this. So the person cannot change instantly, but the person can disappear instantly. And I prefer to look like this, because I would like to work with you on the level that you don't have time. Because mind tells you have time for this. Finish high school, do this thing, get your first car, man. You know, that Mustang that you've always wanted, or whatever it is, okay? But for me, you don't have time. I say often, I don't have a future. Therefore, I am supremely happy. I'm not waiting to be happy. I'm not, oh yeah, I must be happy now. I'm just not waiting to be happy. Not waiting for anything. So my life can come into its fullness now. It's not being done in installments. I am here, you see? And one must have a little bit of courage to feel yes, because every possibility is in you. Every power is in you. Because the Supreme Lord of the universe, is functioning in you. Only your person has little faith, little trust, little mind. So it has to think, well, I can only crawl little bit by little. So I don't want to work with anybody as person. Very rarely I accept this, because at the end you're tired and I am tired. And you see, like this, and then I say, oh my God. And we can barely support each other at the end. You said something, I would like it today, something like this, to be irrefutably changed, to change it. I don't remember the word you use, but it's like, once and for
instantly and definitely.
Instantly and like that, finish. How is that going to come about?
Because I experienced at several moments, even today, even this evening, that I can get loose of my mind, but it won't stay. And I know
you had the feeling that sometimes you can get rid of your mind, but even you, the one who want to get rid of the mind, have a lot of mind in you also. You see, the one who wants to get rid of the mind, let me tell you, there is something in you that doesn't have to get rid of the mind, because the mind is no competition for him. The psychological mind, ego. Suppose God says, I've got to get rid of that ego. It means that he's afraid of ego. He made ego. You see? You cannot be afraid of it. You can only become afraid of ego if you want something from ego, or if you have a wrong idea about yourself, like that. And so that's the only way that we came in some sense of entrapment, and that this ego mind works on you by getting you to be personal. If you're not personal, you cannot have a problem. All problems are personal. The very thought and attitude of a problem comes from the person and exists for the person. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Oh my God, I can see I'm going to go to jail. And you have all these thoughts stringing around. And all of them makes for a very unhappy life. Even when they post for a happy life, it's heading for the wall very often. And it has to, because very often, not only, but mostly, when the person begins to struggle or crash, then an opportunity awakens to go beyond the person, very often. So you must have already had a lot of pain and suffering from this personal thing, and it's going to turn out now to be a blessing in disguise. Because if everything was going great for you, you probably wouldn't come for satsang. Suppose, I said before, life is not so unkind as to fulfill all your dreams. Because if it did, you would have no desire for truth and for going beyond and for freedom. So something you have tasted, a very bitter taste, and that has given you an urge, I must go beyond this, I can't live like this. This is not life like this, you see. And we're not going to do surgery on the person. Here we don't treat the patient, we kill the patient. What am I saying, my God? So here we don't treat the patient, we kill the patient, meaning the patient is itself the cause of the sickness. And again, it is like the same remedy. That is everything that you are holding on to, because you're aware of yourself as the person, when you watch it playing, and you can feel the clouds coming in of judgments, and you can see what it does. It's a very ugly one, in fact. It spoils everything. Every relationship is going to spoil him. You see? It's a very bad smell, that one. How to get over it, you see? The one who suffers it must be got rid of. You see, it's like that. If we're in here and we smell a very bad smell, what is that? And then somebody is a good sniffer and they go behind this thing here and they find a dead rat. Then they go, it's here, it's dead rat. That's why the smell is there. The smell cannot be by itself. It's coming from somewhere. We find a dead rat. What are we going to do? spray, bathroom spray on him? All right. No, you have to take him out, isn't it? I'm not calling you a dead rat. No. What I said, as I said before, I don't see you as that. I cannot see you as that. But something in our culture, in our conditioning, has somehow developed part of the personality carries this smell. Everybody carries some kind of smell, psychic smell, you can say like that. No? And now I'm saying that all these things, you are aware of them. All the different characters you have played, all the different personalities you have played as we grow up, we try different things, and all of them have gone. But you're still here, you see? So this present one also is still not you and will one day go. Maybe it's been a characteristic that's been around for a while, and it's keep going from one place to another, always giving off this smell. But there's always been an awareness of this. Energetically, when you're in the experience of it, something's going, oh, I wish I was not like this, I really hate this feeling and whatever. So both the sensation, the feeling, and the one who is suffering it also are phenomenal. Do you understand what I mean by that? Meaning that they're both sensations or objects of perception being watched from a certain place. Do you know this place where it's watched from? First, do you know that? Can you acknowledge that they are watched? Even the sense of the person who is suffering it is also watched.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Then the rest should be easy then. Because if I say to you like that, so all these things you can see the behavior right now. Is any of this here? No. So there's nothing stable about it. It comes and goes. And whatever comes and goes cannot be you, because you're always here. You're here in its absence and you're here in its presence, so it cannot be you. You see? It's fair enough. So what about now, if, as we said in the last case, you just leave it, why just for this moment when you're with me, you leave these thoughts of, this is the kind of person I am and this is a problem I have. And you've spoken about it, I've heard it, and so now, I say, don't speak of that anymore for a moment. And this person you're speaking about, don't identify with that story or this identity anymore. Just leave that. You're able to leave it aside, no?
Yes.
Yeah, you can just drop it from...
I can feel its attraction too.
You can feel the attraction.
The attraction of the problem itself.
Yeah, it's nearby, so maybe you can feel that it's around, okay? But you're aware of this, and that is the big difference. You're aware that it is a sensation that comes. Maybe you can't stop it when it comes. It simply comes. It's a movement that comes like that, okay? But if I say that you being aware of it cannot be it, does it connect with you? You can say that is something that seems to be some characteristics existing inside me, but I am not that. And whatever self-definition you may have about yourself also, I want to say, that is something that is changeable also. That is something that come and go, and right now it feels like this. So you can leave that. That is not essential. It is not your essential being. Are you able to just leave it aside for a moment?
I try.
Okay. What is happening here at the moment? Even when I speak like that, what happens?
Well, it feels like I never make a real connection with that what I'm not.
Oh, so you felt that you have never made a real connection with the thing that you are not. Is that what you say?
With the thing I've never made a real connection with that what's not about thinking. And I think, and I think I had a lot of moments in which that appears, but it feels very unstable.
Okay, let's try again. Try with me a little bit with this. So I'm simply asking you to leave those things that you mentioned, to just leave them aside. You know what I mean? I mean that don't engage with them, don't hold them, don't claim them. You have experienced them, they seem to be visitors, they come, but they come and go. And you are the witness of them. So I'm asking you not to hold on to anything, not to define yourself in terms of that, or hold on to any self-image about who you are for a moment. And this you are able to do. Why you're able to do it? Because it's not original to you. It's just something that you believe or some strong feeling you have. But you can disassociate from it for a moment and be entirely empty of all of that. You know? And this is something that is so useful time and again. I've tried to guide people to come just to this place again, where you are unassociated with either good or bad. So neither with bad qualities nor even with good qualities. So you leave everything for a moment. And if you leave every thought, every idea you have about yourself or the world or people that you know or any memories or so somewhere, just say, okay, right now I'm not engaged. That's not, and I'm not going to go back there, even though if it's knocking at the door of my ears, okay, I don't have to open my door, okay? Let them knock, okay? So I'm saying, no, I'm with MOOJI right now, I can't talk with you, okay? So you are just here, just leave everything. Every idea about yourself, you leave it out for a moment. You see, at least this much power you have to do it. So where you are now must be entirely effortless. Meaning that you're not trying to do anything. Simply you've put away your efforts, put away everything. Yeah? Stop combining yourself with any sort of feeling or intention or even desire, and leave everything, memory, everything. What is here now? Which itself cannot be left aside. It's not an object that you can say, okay, I'll leave that aside as well.
There's nothing much there, actually.
Yeah, nothing much there. And this is what I've been trying to say with everybody. We are not going to move on from that. We're going to stay put right here for a moment. There's nothing much there. There's no story. There's no history. There's no persons, or there's no life going on there in it. And would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. There's no effort to be anything here.
No.
No. There's no effort to stay here. You're not staying here. You're here. And here is here. Same thing. And there's no waiting for, okay, now what? There's no now what in there. It is not a step to somewhere else. The mind usually says, so okay, we've done this, okay, what's the next experience? So what are you going to show me now? Well, that you're here. And maybe you can feel the itch of the mind that feels, okay, so come. What? 1, 2, 3. There's no counting. There's no numbers. Simply you're here. Where is the need for connection or disconnection?
It's not necessary anymore.
Not necessary. So it's not you are connected with this. You are here. Connection mean two, at least. But you are here. Where are the judgments?
No judgments now.
Who are you here? Don't go to your mind. What can you say about yourself here?
I don't know.
Are you bored?
No.
Are you attached to anything?
No.
Are you dead?
No.
Are you desiring anything?
Yes.
What?
To come on front, but
Okay, come on. You say he has to be honest. Take the microphone as well, please. You say you have to be honest, you see? But be in the space as you are here. Does the space know anything about honesty or dishonesty? Is it relevant to that space?
no.
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 No. Is anything lacking or missing for you?
Me sitting here, no.
No. No. Are you waiting for something in this moment?
No.
No. It is here that I say it is important to be comfortable and become very familiar. Because who are you here? Who are you here? What is your status here?
I'm very at ease and no thoughts.
Yes. And your person?
I don't have a connection with that at this moment.
Exactly. Yeah. How would you get a connection with the person from here?
I don't want that really.
Huh?
I don't want that really now.
Yes. But stay as that, without identity, without past, as you have said. There's no descriptions here. Let's push it a bit and say, is it true that you want or don't want? Don't touch any identity. Are you in a state of want or not want?
No. No.
Yes. So it's important to pay attention to this. Mm. Yeah. You have not taken any drugs. We not throw any magic powder in your face. Just by yourself looking and not associating with this, you find that you are in a state of effortlessness. You still exist, you still know you are, but it doesn't have a lot of paperwork underneath it. Just a feeling of what? What is your feeling? What is the feeling? What is present with you here?
I'm wondering if this is what I am.
Who is wondering? Let's ask a bit. Who is doing the wondering? First there's only this, before the wandering one came. And then something comes, I'm wondering if this is what I am. Okay? Which feels maybe reasonable. Huh? But is it this that is wondering, I wonder if this is what I am, or something else?
I think the person wonders.
Yeah, yes. This is how near the sense of the person can be. Huh? What is the reality of this person?
Feels like a thick layer.
It's like a thick layer of something. But to this that has been discovered, to this, what is the person?
Very small.
Does this person have any authority here in this? Are you following? Are we still together? Does this person have any authority in this? In this? Can it come and say, listen, I'm going to shake up this house a bit. I'm not going away. I'm here. Deal with it. Yeah?
Well, it tries. I feel that it's very near. And
Yes.
it's tried to put out its authority.
Is it near? Is near to the infinite, or
No.
so you see, the thought activity and the potential for thought activity, it's still something there. And when you touch this thought activity, the person is there. Hi, me and you. Okay, all right. When you again check into your real state, this empty space, the person is not there. Let me ask you, all of you, where I'm pointing to, is it cheating? Is it cheating? Is it just a psychological trick? No. Yeah. For now, it is an option that you have. For now. For others, it may not be an option anymore. It is choicelessly what you are. But because there is still this little movement, and the mind quickly is trying, is right at the door, is knocking at the door. You know, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. You know, let me in. Let me in. Come on, I got the key, let me in. Then why are you knocking then if you got the key? Okay, we'll try something else. And you are watching the susceptibility to that voice, in a sense. As something wants to say, okay, it will keep putting things that are flavors that in your memory you've tasted and liked. It will dress up old dead bodies and bring them to you. And you may just think, oh, nice. And this is the play between this play of good and evil or transcendence. Because somehow there is still a lot of charge inside this person mind. Because for so long, it has been your domain. It has been this is your climate. And so like a reflex, quickly you go back to the old regime, you see, of thinking, even though it produces so much pain. Okay? Because even sometimes, if you have the worst relationship in the world, when it comes to an end, we still grieve. This is the nature of attachment. And sometimes there's a kind of attachment to the identity. We even have a love-hate relationship for it. When we hate it, you really want it to be gone. But then it comes back in a bikini. And you start to think, well, yeah, actually, yeah, nice. And then your ex becomes your next again. We were talking about one song, we heard one song on the internet that we have all been playing about. We like this. I like the one lyrics is a girl, what's her name? Taylor Swift. we're listening to her song. I don't know what the song is called, but one of the lines she says, she's looking at some guy who looks really handsome and stuff, and she says, "You look like my next mistake." You look like you're going to be my next mistake. Sometimes we know it. This thing looks like it's going to be my next mistake. The mind is going, hey. So you now are in your original place, but we are reacquiring the taste for your original being. And so there's still a little bit of interest to go back to the X. He's out there knocking on the door. So this kind of feeling can be there. So I have to keep reminding you, but you're here. Look at the mind from here. Because it's saying, come over here. And it said, no, I look from here. And it has no appeal for you in this way. You see, your chance is you have a memory of such a bad taste from that one, that sometimes is going to be your asset. It's going to be your really good help. Because you know you have tasted that, and that is a signature of that relationship. And it also provided the impetus, the impulse to be free. Now you are free. You are free, you see. You are free, and you are freedom itself now. Huh? But look how easy. Don't become complacent. Look how easy it is. Because the mind or the whole, that kind of psychological identity is very cunning, And so it can come. So just in your case, maybe you look and just have to keep on reminding, but I'm just here. The mind will keep bringing you delicious looking dishes, but I'm just here.
Can that also help me when I interact with somebody else, when I know by heart that there's a true connection, that I can stay with that connection and not slip into the...
You must drop this idea of connection. Because connection is going to be your great trap. You're not connected. You are. You follow? Connection sounds good. I've been in a bad connection before. Now this is a good connection. But I'm saying, you're not a connection. You are the self. You cannot be disconnected either. That's what the mind has created. Because you feel disconnected from yourself, the mind could have you, and that's what you're going to get from him. You see, I really would like you to really think about this. Let's say think about it. Reflect on it. Because you may have 100 questions, but they're not 100 answers. Maybe there's just one answer, if you follow. You see? And it's the same thing. You're here. And something says, yeah, because, how will it be? How will it be if I make a connection and then I forget my connection with this? How will it be? You see, already you're back in role. You're back in role. You're still speaking as the guy we left down the road just now. What about my next contact with someone and it's going good, and then, and I feel Mr. Bad Guy coming up again, and I feel, wow, I want to stay connected to you. You're already in a lost position because you've picked up this concept of being disconnected, and that is playing into the devil's hands for me to say that. Do we understand this or not? Yes. And these things, one works for you, works for everybody. Just a concept that looks harmless enough. I want to stay connected, MOOJI. You know who is asking this? Your mind. It sounds like it's on your side. I'd like to stay connected. How will I stay connected next time? And I says, yeah, what I need to do is, when you go on a date and you feel disconnected, go to the bathroom, okay? And do this I am connected mantra, okay? Then what have I done to you? I've given you a burden. I'm telling you already that, you can be disconnected. And that then you're going to have to do this thing to be connected. So I've put a condition on what is natural for you. And I've just shown you that it is effortless. Mind is coming, you see. It has done really good business with you so far. You see, it's planted many false seeds in your consciousness. And so, even at this stage, when you're right in the heart of the discovery, and you already just been a few moments ago saying there's nothing I have to do, there's no history, there's no person, ego is just some, and there's this, and then somehow, little by little, I see it trickling in. Could you see it? Trickling in, just putting one foot through the door, putting the knee in, and then half the body, and then you're finished. He's in the house. You see? So for a while I say you need a little bit of this kind of alertness or vigilance, a little bit. As what are my words will be quickly established in you if you follow them. Because you see, this is how your mind has been playing this type of way. So what to do like this? Remember that in your natural state you were not doing. You were complete. And the complete doesn't need to work to be more complete. You're just here. But an old voice is saying, psst, come here. Come here, sweet boy. Come. You see? Something like, what? Come here, a little closer. Where? You see? You're boom, you're gone. Something has to cut that. That is your connection. You're connected to that. But with yourself, you are. But because of being connected to that, you felt disconnected from yourself. Subtle things, isn't it? Subtle. If you follow the pointing, gradually, your wisdom will start to rise up again. And you'll catch the mind. All its cunningness, you'll catch them very easy. So don't try to learn what I'm telling you so much. Follow it and you see. Get home and grow from home. Don't try and follow with your head and learn in your head, because whatever you merely learn with your head, it will not stay with you. It will collapse under stress. It will run away. It will not be available when you get all stressed up. It will be of no good. It's like the friends who promise to stay with you, and in the moment they're gone. It won't stay with you. But what you have seen in your heart, that will not leave you. And satsang is seeing and being are one.
That's what I felt. I felt a few weeks ago that I first have to be in a real love relation with myself before I can give that to another.
Yeah.
And it sounds wisely for myself, but it's difficult to feel that each time.
Yes. For that self, it's going to be a long journey. Let me tell you, I'm upfront with you. I'm not going to give you any Hollywood advice about things. For that self, it's going to be a long journey of healing. And a waste of time. I ever told you the story about the ghost who is suffering from anorexia? After a lot of treatment, lots and lots of treatment, painful treatment, only finally to have the final analysis, you don't exist. Okay? It's the same way. You can keep on with this person, trying to fix the person to get better, the person getting better. Oh no, he slipped again, going, and all the time and realizing it doesn't exist. It's only made up in your head. I don't want to treat, and I won't treat anybody like this person. Everyone is suffering from person poison. You are the consciousness. That is your greatness. That is your power. That is your timelessness. That is your eternity. That is your power. That is your joy. That is your peace. Very quickly, you see, it brings you back to the person. And but what's going to happen the next time when I meet someone and then I start to feel it coming, and I don't want to lose connect. You see, already your voice you're speaking, already ignorance, you see. Stay with this. Just stay here. Just keep remembering. But I'm just here. There's nothing to do. You think that will happen? That you will stay here? I'm not telling you to get here. I'm telling you to stay here. Because you already are here. I'm not telling you to go there. I'm saying stay here. And we have a few days together. We're going to see how this pans out. We're going to see how this pans out. He's going to try and give a lot of trouble for you. He's going to come and give you a lot of trouble. You see? Because you may just be a good candidate for escaping from this misery. If you're someone who simply believed in your conditioning and this kind of control, obsessive control, you see, and then, in a way, you will not feel any trouble too much from your mind because you're just a sheep. You're just inside the pen. You will not go anywhere by yourself. But the moment you begin to roar, then you see the mafia holds his gun. Where you think you're going, then you'll see you're going to have to go through this little thing where it's going to try and throw a lot of stones at you to break your resolve and to sabotage your freedom. Yeah, but it's only for a little bit. Stay with it and don't give up. Let him give up. Let's just take a moment or two together on this now. Because we are all here together, no? And you are just here. And all that we have shared and so on. Don't just give it to your mind. Just leave it in the space of your being. Let the being take care of what you've heard. You're aware of your being, of yourself. But not in a complex way. Just in the sense that you're here, present. You're aware of this room that we are sitting together in, and the quietness of the evening. My voice you can hear. You're aware of your body and the sensations occurring inside the body. You know the sounds that are present, that where they come from and can distinguish what they are. And all this is happening without you doing anything at all. This is the marvelousness of your consciousness. If a thought should come, you did not know about its coming before it entered your conscious field. It arises merely like a cloud. In the sky of your being, remain like the sky. Your body has a size, shape, weight. But your sense of being is without size or shape or weight. Like an immense field that has no edge. So the sense that you are inside this body, you're already familiar with. But as consciousness, you can see that this body is inside you also. As consciousness. And everything that you perceive is only appearing in the same conscious field. You're doing nothing. Just the functioning of perception is arising in you and occurring in you spontaneously. You're simply here. What if there was no next sensation, or next activity? It's just a thought, just a movement. You're still only here. The breath is moving by itself. Heart is beating by itself, without any personal doer. You're simply aware. Don't combine the sense of yourself with any intention or any object. Just be. And right here there's a peace, a relaxedness, a relaxation. A spaciousness. You're not creating this or imagining it or visualizing. Just in your silence. Thoughts should not be intimidating your mind, no. The more you pay attention to this natural silence in yourself, the least attractive or appealing the thoughts are, and they're slipping away, weaker and weaker, in the immensity of being. Notice also that there's no specific time in the field of being. There's neither night nor day. And though peace might be experienced in silence, but the beingness itself is indescribable. It certainly is not a person, even though the idea of a person may emerge in it. It is fine to be without identity. You're entirely weightless. Nothing is expected of you. There's nothing to become, nothing to change or to fix or to heal, nothing to keep or to lose. You're just fine as you are. Though you are aware of your body is not quite what you are. Much more subtle. Indefinable. You're beyond the field of good or evil, or right or wrong. You are in your awareness being. It is not shopping for new experiences. It is just fine as it is. If a thing needs to be known, it will manifest quite spontaneously. Similarly, if something needs to happen, it will come into play quite spontaneously. Just like each wave in the ocean has the total ocean behind it. Each form has total beingness behind it. As a wave cannot exist separate from the ocean, your body cannot exist apart from being. You're neither above nor below, neither inside nor outside. Even the ability to see is seen. Trust this. There's neither fear nor pain here. There are no judgments here. There's neither past nor future here. Simply you are. If there's a feeling of waiting, it comes only from the mind and not from your being. Or if there's a feeling of expecting, it again is from mind. Stay as you are, and your mind will eventually follow. It will follow and also become quiet. But don't wait for this. Stay only with yourself. It is the most kind. Because when your being and mind are at peace, you radiate joy to the world. You encourage love and not fear. You are the timeless, appearing as time. The formless appearing as body, as form. The vast space appearing as shape. The silence you are discovering is not something that you have created. Simply you have allowed your attention to fall back into your natural silence. Gradually it will become natural for you to accept and appreciate your own silence. And to see it's not a work that you do. Paying attention to your inherent silence is preparing the ground for your own awakening.